Okay, let's just get this out of the way. This isn't about your average AI chatbot. What we're diving into today is something different. Think of it less like a chatbot and more like a second brain, a whole research system that's completely changing the game for how we deal with information. You know that feeling, right? Tiago Forte calls it doom scrolling. You're just endlessly swiping through feeds and absolutely nothing is sticking. But what if? What if you could actually turn all that chaos into clarity? I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a student or professional, we're all kind of drowning in the same stuff. PDFs, articles, and notes scattered all over the place. It's wild, isn't it? We have access to more information than at any point in history. But honestly, it just feels like we're being buried by it. The problem isn't finding stuff anymore. The real struggle, it's connecting the dots. It's actually finding the important bits, the real insights hidden in that massive pile of data. So, how do we get out from under this digital avalanche? Well, that's what we're going to break down. We're going to start with the problem of being overloaded and then walk right up to a pretty amazing solution. We'll look at a new kind of AI, show you how you can literally chat with your own documents, see how it transforms raw data into cool new content, and even build a pro-level system. And at the end, we'll think a little about what this all means for the future of research. All right, first things first, let's really dig into that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, because that's the core problem, right? It's this universal headache that a tool like NotebookLM is specifically built to fix. Okay, so we've got the problem. Now for the solution. And I want to be super clear here. This is not just another AI you ask about the weather. NotebookLM is totally different. It's a focused system that's designed to work with you on your stuff, basically turning your pile of information into a real research partner. And the magic word here, the one you really need to remember, is grounded. See, unlike most AIs that scrape the entire internet for answers, NotebookLM only looks at the documents and files that you give it. So it becomes an expert in your private world, not the whole wide world. And this right here, this tackles the biggest issue with AI today, trust. You've heard about AI hallucinating, right? Just making stuff up. Well, NotebookLM attacks that problem head on. Every single answer it gives you comes with citations, these little numbers that link you right back to the exact spot in your own documents. That just massively cuts down the risk of it giving you bad info. Okay, so what does this actually feel like when you're using it? Honestly, it's like all those boring static folders on your computer suddenly wake up and start talking to you. It takes that chaotic mess of files and turns it into this living, breathing knowledge base that you can actually have a conversation with. So what can you throw at this thing? Well, pretty much anything you can think of. You got a bunch of PDFs, a whole mess of Google Docs. What about transcripts from YouTube videos, or even audio files? Yep, you can feed all of it in and build your own custom knowledge base. So how do you keep it all organized? You use something called notebooks. Just think of them as separate projects. You might have one for Q1 market research and another for my novel draft. And inside each of those notebooks, you can drop in up to 50 different sources. And get this, the scale we're talking about is just massive. Each one of those notebooks can hold up to 25 million words. I mean, that is a ton of information. It's more than enough for some really, really deep research projects. You're basically building your own private, super-powered library. But here's where it gets really cool. NotebookLM isn't just about analyzing stuff you already have. It actually becomes a creative partner. It doesn't just help you understand your info, it helps you make totally new things with it. So once all your stuff is in there, the AI can help you mix it all up and spit it out in all these incredible new formats. You can take your raw, messy research and turn it into something polished and ready to go. Okay, check this out. Imagine taking a whole folder of dense research papers and turning it into a podcast. You get two AI hosts who just chat about the key points. And the best part? You can literally jump into their conversation and ask them questions as they go. How cool is that? Or what if you need a video? No problem. NotebookLM can just generate a whole explainer video for you. It writes the script, it finds the visuals, it adds the narration, it does the whole shebang and gives you a file to download. You can even pick the style. You want a whiteboard video, anime, you got it. This next one is a total game changer for anyone who has to explain complex ideas. In just a few minutes, you can get a professional, super high-quality infographic that maps out all the key ideas from your research. It makes complicated stuff so much easier to understand.
Got a big presentation coming up? Forget staring at a blank screen. NotebookLM can draft the whole slide deck for you. It figures out the structure, it adds visuals, and it even writes out the speaker notes. That's going to save you hours of work.
Okay, so you've seen the bells and whistles, and they're pretty amazing. But how do the pros really get the most out of this? Well, they don't just dump in a file and ask a random question. They use a specific strategic workflow that turns this tool into a full-on intelligence system.
And this four-step process is really the secret sauce. It's how you get those super sharp, precise answers. First, you can let the AI find sources for you. Then, you validate them to make sure they're good. Next, you filter, so you're only using the most relevant ones. And then, and only then, do you generate your content. And the difference this makes is just huge. If you just throw everything in, you might get a kind of vague general summary. But when you filter your sources first and really craft your prompt, you get something sharp and specific that's way more useful. It's the difference between asking, "So what's this about?" versus asking, "What is the single most important takeaway from this specific document?"
So let's zoom out for a second. What does all this actually mean? It's not just about doing research faster. What we're seeing here is a fundamental shift in how we relate to information. We're going from just being passive consumers to being active co-creators with our knowledge. So, to wrap it all up, here are the big things to remember. NotebookLM is a grounded AI. It only uses your stuff. It turns your boring documents into a conversation. It can transform that research into amazing content like podcasts and videos. And using a smart workflow is what really unlocks its true power. And this last part is so important. Your own collection of information, the stuff you've gathered, your unique perspective. AI isn't making that less valuable, it's making it more valuable. It's the fuel for this new second brain. Your personal insight is now your superpower. So when you think about it, a tool like this changes the whole game. It takes away all the boring, tedious parts of research, the gathering, the summarizing, and it leaves us with one really powerful question to think about. When your research can literally talk back to you, create for you, and even debate with you, what kinds of questions are you going to ask?